It's Wednesday, July 19th. I'm Scott Squires, and this is SaltWire Today. It's been pretty muggy lately with a tropical feel in the air. People around the region are sharing images of moldy carpet and fungus growing in apartment hallways. At the end of each day, my shirt feels like a wet nap, and it seems everyone is talking about humidity and when it's going to end. Our weather specialist Alistair Alders has an answer for you. Alistair, when can we expect an end to this moist air?
Well, Scott, that's the question I'm being asked most these days because this has been a very oppressive, tropical-like air mass, and for a lot of people, they do struggle with it due to underlying health issues. So the big question is, when will the humidity break? Well, unfortunately, I guess a mix of good and bad news. The bad news is that there is no immediate relief. We do have a cold front that will be slicing through tonight into tomorrow. However, it's not really going to knock back the humidity. Parts of New Brunswick get about a day of relief and then it climbs back there. So we're stuck with this uncomfortable to at times oppressive air mass into and through the upcoming weekend. Right now, early next week, there are signs that dew points, which measure the amount of moisture in the air, could come down. They've been in the high teens and low 20s for the last several days. There are some signs that we could see more so mid to high teens. So while that would bring humidity levels down, I don't think it's significant relief. It will still be feeling sticky and at times uncomfortable next week. So for those looking for a really dry air mass or extended relief, really none in the forecast at this point, Scott.
What are some things we can do to combat the moist air?
Air circulation is key, Scott, so having a fan going to help circulate the air so it's not stagnant, or having air conditioning, of course. You can also have a dehumidifier to help remove that moisture out of the air. A few other tips: be sure to stay hydrated. Make sure you're wearing clothing that is fairly light and will help keep you cool. And a lot of people want to know, should I open my windows during this to help maybe circulate some air? Well, I would advise that keeping your windows closed for the most part, especially during the day when we have the warmest temperatures. Also keep your curtains closed. At night, you can consider opening your windows, but I wouldn't leave them open all night. I would just leave them open long enough to perhaps get some circulation, because the air mass is still very damp and humid at night. So really, there's not a whole lot we can do unless you do have air conditioning or a dehumidifier. Just try to keep that air circulating around and do your best to stay cool by, of course, staying hydrated. Scott.
Thanks, Alistair. We'll check back in with Alistair later in the show. The premiers of the Atlantic provinces met with federal ministers in Moncton yesterday, but failed to reach an agreement on two major issues. The premiers asked the federal government to pay for half the cost of a project to shore up the dike system protecting the Chignecto isthmus, but the federal government only offered to pay for a third. The premiers also asked for more federal money for the Atlantic Loop project, which would tie Atlantic Canada's electricity grid to Quebec's. The federal government offered $4.5 billion loan, but the premier said that's just not enough. SaltWire's Aaron Beswick has much more on this at saltwire.com. Emma Bear, a wrestler from Team Manitoba, cut off her hair to make weight for the North American Indigenous Games in Halifax.
I went to the barber in St. Mary's University, that's where my dorm is, and she shaved it around, and I kept the top, thinking it'd be okay, and everyone said I was already crazy. And then when I got here, I found out I was 0.1 kilos off, and then my dad was trying to comfort me, and it didn't comfort me. And he was like, did you know that's not even half a pound? It's 0.4 pounds. You're 0.4 pounds off. And I was, Dad. And then I wasn't allowed to go back to weigh in again. And then my coach, Jordan, actually went and ran, and he found a way for me to go step on the scale again. And we were sitting downstairs, and he comes running over and slides at my feet. And then he said, go get a pair of scissors. And he's like, are you certain you cut the top of your hair off will make you on weight? I was like, yeah. And he's like, go find a pair of scissors. And there was two lovely volunteers downstairs, my coach, two of my teammates, and my mom, all downstairs. And they all scattered. Some went next door, some ran upstairs, some ran over there to go find a pair of scissors. And my dad was standing there waiting. My two coaches started crying because in my culture, hair is super important, the braid. And then we got a pair of scissors, and I was just downstairs about 50 feet away from the scale, and I put my head in a garbage can, and my dad cut the top of my hair off.
Bear was able to make weight and compete in the finals at St. Mary's University this morning. However, she lost her first match and then felt ill and was not medically cleared to continue. Bear has family in Nova Scotia and plans to bury some of the hair in this province and the rest when they return to Manitoba.
I'm also taking hair back to Manitoba, and my grandfather and I used to go for drives because I was his driver, and I'm going to go and bury it on the road that we used to drive down all the time. When I got here and I cut my hair, I knew it wasn't because I was overweight. It was because I was just ready to let go of my pop. So I have a cousin here, and we're going to do a ceremony, and I'm going to bury my hair by the ocean in a way of letting go.
We have full coverage of the games at SaltWire.com. Next, we dive headfirst into the captivating world of comic book creation with a P.E.I. creator who's sharing his talent in a very public way.
Troy Lido is a comic book artist in Charlottetown. He's sitting within an enclosed window at Comic Hunter, a comic shop downtown Charlottetown, to showcase the process of creating comic books to passers-by.
I thought it would be fun to set up in the window at the shop here and draw comics live and in person. Well, these are some pages from a book that I'm working on called The Illusion of Life. It's a project I've been working on for about 10 years now, and finding an opportunity to get out and work in public and get some pages done has been a lot of fun, and it's nice to be able to show people the process of how I make comics.
Sue Smith is the owner of the comic shop Troy is drawing at.
We're really enjoying having Troy in the window, and hopefully he isn't too hot in there. You know, we're feeding him. I baked Troy cookies, so you know you have to feed your artist while he's working.
Passers-by can watch the process through this TV that is connected to a camera pointing right over what he's drawing. In Charlottetown, I'm Vivian Ulinwa for SaltWire.
Let's check in once again with weather specialist Alistair Alders. Alistair?
Hi again, Scott. Well, soupy was a pretty good word to describe what it was like out here today. It was relatively cloudy. We had fog patches, drizzle, and a few scattered showers too. And while temperatures were cooler, the humidity was still very oppressive today. And unfortunately, there's no signs of relief from this humidity, as I told you earlier in the upcoming forecast. This evening, we will have cloudy skies with fog patches or drizzle and still a chance of showers with the temperature near 23 degrees. 19 first thing on Thursday morning, starting off with cloud cover and fog patches. And of course, that comes with a chance of drizzle. Now into the afternoon, I do think we'll see partly sunny skies. The sun will break through the clouds, but still holding on to a chance of showers. Tomorrow's high will be near 26 degrees and feel more like 34 when you factor in the humidity. Relief, at least from the temperatures, can be found along the coast where it will be closer to 20 degrees. And this humid stretch of weather will continue right through the upcoming weekend and will also be bringing back more unsettled weather to the forecast. Scattered showers and a risk of thunderstorms Friday, and then more widespread showers and storms on Saturday. Scott.
Thanks, Alistair. That's all for now. For more video, audio, and articles, stay tuned to SaltWire.com, and of course, you can find us on socials. I'm Scott Squires. Thanks for spending some time with SaltWire today, and as my mom used to say, take it one day at a time with one foot in front of the other. We'll see you tomorrow.
Turn off the noise. Tune in to what matters. What matters is information you can trust. What matters is the news you can use to make life's big decisions. Informed healthcare choices, casting the smart vote, or opening that business. What matters is understanding the world around you. Let SaltWire connect you to what matters with unlimited access to the information you need for only $20 for the first year. Become a member today.